I gotta go off on the NFL media for villainizing Sean Payton. You know, people are really low on the Denver Broncos this year because they don't think Bo Nix is that good. They think Sean Payton is overrated. He was carried by Drew Brees. When you couldn't be no more wrong. The reason why people are really salty about Sean Payton and why they're starting to paint him out to be a villain is because of how ugly things ended between the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson. And why people are starting to strongly dislike Sean Payton is because he held Russell Wilson accountable. They get mad because Sean Payton cussed out Russell Wilson on the sideline during the Detroit Lions game. And the Denver Broncos also made him sit because they didn't want to risk him getting injured and them having to pay him more money than what they already had to pay him. But some of y'all fail to realize that, for one, Russ is not the same player now that he used to be in his prime, his glory days with the Seattle Seahawks. He has regressed. He's a shell of himself. And also, before Sean Payton got there, this brother was isolated from the team. He had his own office and his own locker room away from everybody else on the team under Nathaniel Hackett. You know when Sean Payton got there? The first thing he did was tell Russell Wilson, hey, whose office is this? This is your office? Clean all this shit up, clean your locker room up, and go join the rest of the team. Who the hell do you think you are to think that you deserve presidential treatment where you get your own office and your own locker and nobody else gets these kinds of incentives? I never saw Bill Belichick give Tom Brady presidential treatment. As a matter of fact, Bill Belichick treated Tom Brady the same way he treated an undrafted rookie free agent. You think that Andy Reid is giving Patrick Mahomes preferential treatment? Good players want to be coached the same way the rest of the team is. And that's how you end up building a bond, a connection with your teammates. Guys don't like when coaches show favoritism. We call it politicking where I'm from. And that's why the Legion of Boom, one of the greatest defenses in NFL history, ended up disbanding because the players wanted to have a players-only meeting. But Pete Carroll said, yeah, y'all can have this meeting, but just leave Russell Wilson out of it. Pete Carroll, Nathaniel Hackett held Russell Wilson's hand. They coddled him. They gave him everything he wanted until Russell Wilson came to the ultimatum with Seattle, hey, it's either me or Pete Carroll. One of us has to go. And Seattle said, you know what, Russ, we're going to let you go. And every time you hear a former player speak out about Russell Wilson, there's always something that they say that's common, which is good player, great player as a matter of fact, but he's just not a guy who can relate to the other players on the team. You know, I remember Marshawn Lynch was telling the story of how he was trying to talk to Russell Wilson and he couldn't even get in direct contact with this dude. He had to talk to a representative or an agent to talk to Russ. What the hell? But y'all are making it seem like Sean Payton is the villain in this situation. And let's clear up this BS about Drew Brees making Sean Payton. Last time I checked, Drew Brees was casted aside by the San Diego Chargers. He had a shoulder injury that nobody ever thought he was going to be the same after going through the procedure that he went through to get that shoulder good enough to be in playing shape. He goes to Sean Payton and becomes an all-time great. Y'all make it seem like Drew Brees was already an all-time great when he got to New Orleans. He wasn't. Plus, Sean Payton, don't know how many of you guys know this, but he's 25-21 without Drew Brees. In 2019, when Drew Brees had missed time with the injury that year, he went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. And at that moment, we didn't know if Teddy Bridgewater was even going to be able to play in the NFL again after the nasty, gruesome injury that he sustained with the Minnesota Vikings. Not only did Teddy Bridgewater ball out and win games under Sean Payton, but Sean Payton helped the brother get paid the following season by the Carolina Panthers. What about in 2021, the year after Drew Brees retired? Sean Payton went 9-8 that season. Jameis Winston was 5-1 at one point that year, had the Saints on top of the NFC South until he got his season cut short against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in his revenge game. Before he went down with that injury, not only did he have the best touchdown to interception ratio in the league at that point, but he also outplayed Aaron Rodgers week 1 that same season. And even when Jameis Winston went down, you would have thought that New Orleans season was over. But no. Because of how great of a coach Sean Payton is, he was still able to barely miss out on the playoffs with Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian at quarterback. You know, Jameis Winston would have stayed healthy. Sean Payton's final season in the NOLA, they would have been a playoff team and they probably would have ended up winning that division. If you can elevate Jameis Winston, get him doing something that no other coach has been able to do, have him playing efficient, mistake-free football, you can win with anybody. And he definitely is going to be able to develop Bo Nix into a superstar. The people that are doubting Sean Payton, that are questioning just how good of an offensive mind he is and think that Bo Nix is this unimpressive check-down machine, you're looking at this from an emotional standpoint because you can accept that Russell Wilson isn't good anymore. And that's what people in the national media have a hard time being able to do. They have a hard time being able to admit that Russ just ain't good anymore. He's a likable guy. He puts up a good persona in public. And Russell Wilson isn't a bad guy. I'm not trying to make it seem like he is. But behind closed doors, Russell Wilson is not the angel that you guys think that he is. And that's why Sean Payton went at this brother the way that he did. I have no issues with how Sean Payton went about handling the Russell Wilson situation in Denver. Because if I'm him, I'll be cussing your ass out too. You're one of the 5 highest paid quarterbacks in the game, but yet you're not playing like one. A lot of the excuses that people make for Russell Wilson not working out in Denver is he didn't have this, he didn't have that. When they first traded for Russell Wilson, everybody thought that he was the missing piece to them being able to get back into the Super Bowl discussion, a place they haven't been since Peyton Manning retired in 2015. The Broncos have struggled to find their long-term answer at quarterback since Peyton hung up the cleats. You thought Russell Wilson would have finally been able to be the answer to your everlasting quarterback struggles, but he wasn't because you hired a bad head coach, Nathaniel Hackett. And remember, people criticized Sean Payton for how he was talking about Nathaniel Hackett around this time last year. Remember, he had the comments about, well, when you have an offense as bad as what they had last year, it's not going to take too much to fix it. Yeah, well, people didn't like Sean Payton's statements at the time because although they were true, you know, people felt it was unprofessional because they felt like that was going to force Nathaniel Hackett to become blackballed from the league, because if a great coach like Sean Payton calls you out and says that you're not good and you did a terrible job, who else is going to give you a chance? Well, the New York Jets, because they're the New York Jets. And you see how that's working out. Did Sean Payton lie about Nathaniel Hackett? Because the New York Jets wanted to get this dude replaced as their OC or have somebody else on their staff to help him out. But Aaron Rodgers said, no, that's my buddy. You can't do nothing to my buddy. He's going to be calling plays because he's the dude that I want. So a year later, after revisiting Sean Payton's comments about Nathaniel Hackett, was he lying or was he telling the truth? You know what they say, the truth hurts. And Sean Payton told the truth about Russell Wilson when he decided to bench him. You're not good anymore. You're not worth the money. And we're better off taking an NFL record dead cap hit to get rid of you and start over with the rookie quarterback than to keep you on this team and allow you to stink up the joint, as Stephen A. Smith puts it. You know what they say, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that quote from Harvey Dent has seemed to raise true when it comes to Sean Payton. Everybody used to love Sean Payton until Bountygate happened. And then you have this whole Russell Wilson ugly divorce in Denver and how Sean Payton went about handling it, which really made people frustrated, which really makes people hate Sean Payton. And now people are taking it out on the perception of how they perceive the Denver Broncos are going to perform this year. The Broncos are going to win way more than 5 games this year. And also, Bo Nix is going to outplay Russell Wilson this year. Hell, Russell Wilson might not even start for Pittsburgh this year. And if he does, he'll probably get benched and replaced for Justin Fields.